Hey everybody, there's Ryder, and we're getting ready to kick off the big video. He's like, yeah, whatever, man. All right, so we're gonna go inside here because I need Chris so we can start shooting the video. Hello, we are coming in. I hope you're ready for an audience. Oh, and of course,
Hello.
we find her sitting in her favorite perch, if you will.
Yes, this is absolutely my favorite spot. Actually, I spend every morning here. I am an early riser, so I'm typically out of bed probably a good hour before Michael, and I come out here and I like to read. But I have to say, I have to share, like, this is my favorite spot in the camper. And I am a reader. I love books. And so when we were, contemplating the whole moving into an RV full time, I was a little concerned about how that was going to work because obviously there's such limited space and books tend to not take up a lot of room, right?
And by the way, so was my back. I was really concerned because I can attest to all these books she has. And I was concerned, are we going to have to go to the Catskills to reweigh us because of all Chris's books?
Yeah, thankfully my office at work has a bookshelf, so I was able to move a lot. But let me show you this space. So, well, first of all, I am not a theater seat fan in the RVs, and I really wanted to have a couple of chairs, but this is what came with this particular RV, and it ended up working out really well because we have this humongous storage space down here. If you can see, it goes back super deep. I bet it's like at least 3.5 feet long.
It's big, and let's show what you got going on this side.
Right, like 1, 2, 3. There's 4 big giant spirals, and here's another one.
Oh my! Whew. It's amazing. Our joke is we could get all her books in there and fit Ryder in there too.
Journals, right? And my Bible.
Let's take a look at that again. See, look. And we still have
all this room.
Oh my goodness.
So,
okay, so show how the shelf slides back.
Yes, so then you've got this shelf that slides back and forth, and you'll have to laugh because this is my collection of readers. And
that's quite the collection.
Yes, when we lived in the Sticks and Bricks house, I could never find them anywhere, so I was like always ordering a new set from Amazon, and now we have such limited space, they're all right here.
Yeah, I mean, guys, she loses these things so much. We are on a subscription with Amazon to get them monthly. We get 100 pairs. No, we don't get 100 pairs.
I know. Well, the funny thing is half the time I had a pair on my head and didn't even realize it.
Oh, boy. You're not getting that old yet.
But, it's the little things in life that are so satisfying.
That's right. Well, I think we should roll the video.
Let's do it.
All right, let's roll. Welcome to the channel. We're so glad that you tuned in. Today we're going to talk about another great one. We're going to talk about 2 simple RV must-haves that could save you thousands. What do you think?
I think that's great. And those are things that we have learned since purchasing our new Class A.
So let's get into it. And number 1 are tire covers for your RV. This is a little thing, and maybe even as you're watching this, you might even be going, whatever, dude, now you just lost me. I'm moving on from this video. But wait, don't move away. It's something that's so little but so important because RV tires don't wear out because of tread. They wear out because of the sun. And it's something that's so easy to think about that you don't think about it, if that makes any sense.
Well, and to be honest, when we first started, well, he's obviously been RVing a lot longer than I have, but when we first started getting into that world together, I remember we'd be at a campground, and it was mostly, you'd typically see the Class A's that would put covers on their tires, and I thought it was just kind of overkill, like, just another thing to, make you look fancy schmancy or whatever. Yeah. But then we really got into why it's important, and, it does make all the difference.
So as many of you know who follow our channel, we had a Riverstone Legacy toy hauler 5th wheel, so we actually had 6 wheels that we had to cover. So when it finally, clicked in our brain that, hey, You know, this thing sits outside a lot and gets beat on by the sun. So we need to get some covers. So what did we do to even find those covers?
Well, we searched Amazon. Amazon's great, and they do have a lot of things. They don't have everything, especially if you want something more specialized. And for tire sizes for a fifth wheel, it was definitely much easier. But the most important thing is you get the tire covers and you need to remember to actually put them on.
Put them on.
I was forever saying, Michael, put the tire covers on. So it is really important when you have your setup process, tear down setup process, that is definitely one of the steps that you incorporate into that process so you don't forget. And a couple weeks go by and you're like, oh, there's no covers on our tires.
Yeah, because you know, if you're going from spot to spot, and you say, well, you know, we're only going to be here for two weeks, so you just want to slough that part off. For 2 weeks, put those tire covers on. That's 2 weeks of life into your tire. So I did a little research because I really wanted to find out what maybe some of the experts, some of the pros, even like Goodyear and Michelin, you know, things that they had to say about why this is so important. So I've got them here on my phone, and I want to share them with all of you guys, so you don't just take my word for it, you can take the experts' word for it. So this is a breakdown. This is research from RV maintenance pros and tire manufacturers. So number one is UV radiation equals rubber breakdown. And this is what they say. UV rays degrade the chemical bonds in rubber over time, causing dry rot, sidewall cracking, and blowouts. According to Goodyear and Michelin, tires exposed to constant UV radiation may lose, listen to this, up to 30% of their structural integrity over just 2 to 3 years. I mean, that right there should make you run out to somewhere, even Amazon on your phone, and get some covers for your tires, even if they're not being driven on. Number two, ozone plus oxygen accelerates the aging. Sunlight not only contains UV, but also triggers ozone exposure, which speeds up the drying and cracking process in rubber compounds. Combined with heat, tires age faster in direct sunlight than with use. Wow. Number three, tires age even while sitting. And I hear the song. RV tires can age out before they wear out. Wow. Most RV tires should be replaced every 5 to 7 years, not because of tread, but because the rubber compound deteriorates over time. And where we're sitting, so a lot of you know now we have a Newmar Mountain Air motor coach.
Tires are much more expensive than they were
bigger
on our fifth wheel.
Yeah, and so every tire has a DOT code date on it that you can go and check. And I have an image, and it'll pop up here on your screen, and it'll show you what it exactly looks like, so you can know when your tires were manufactured. Matter of fact, there's also a number on there that says at what plant they were even manufactured at. So with us here, we bought a used, new to us, 2020. These are the original tires. So we knew that when we were buying it. We're like, okay, we're at that, it's 2025. So we are now starting to skate on that, getting close, that 5 to 7 year. Now, from what we understand, the coach was indoors quite often, which is great. And they seem to be, they don't look very dried out, but still, we know they're code dated 2020. So we know that we're kind of really getting close on that. And especially from what I'm understanding, in the motor coach or the Class A world, the most important tires are your steers, the ones in the front. So like we've already been kind of doing the math in our head, so to speak, going, probably at the end of this year, this camping season, the summer of 2025, we're probably going to go ahead and switch those out, and then kind of go from the front, to the back and start replacing them. So Another thing you should do is check the code date on your tires and see where they're at, and really evaluate whether they're starting to look like they're drying out or not. Number 4, tire covers. Long-term savings for you guys and us. High quality covers block 99% of UV rays, and they extend the tire life, they say, by 2 to 3 years, and prevent costly blowouts on the road. And and if you're like us, I think we've all seen the horror story videos where, there's one with a Class A that I watched when we were fifth wheelers, and he's passing somebody, he's going down and he's in the passing lane, and next thing you know, he has a blowout, and the whole rig goes in, into the middle of the highway, and it flips, and it's just, oh my gosh, you can't imagine. So buying cheap or cheap-ish in the overall scheme of things, your whole rig versus
your life
in your life, tire covers are way worth it. So for the Class A, we kind of took a different approach, and Chris started doing research, and I'll let you talk about who we went with, why we went with, and all that.
Yeah, so we decided to go with Magnashade, and it's definitely a much bigger investment than just the typical tire covers you might get off of Amazon. And part of the reason that we went that way was, we know the quality is good. Aesthetically, they look really nice on the rig, and they're easy to fold up, put away, unfold, put on. They're just super. I felt like they were definitely easier to put on than our previous tire covers. So, I mean, like I said, you're looking at an investment, and it is custom. You have to know the size of your tires, and you have to plug all that in when you order them. So you got to make sure you have the right specifications, because it's a big investment. And for our rig, we had 6 tires that we had to cover, and it was just a little over $400 to invest in a set of Magnashades.
Yeah, isn't that something? We still have 6 tires that we got to cover.
Well, and we have, 8 tires total?
We don't cover all 6.
But obviously,
the outside ones.
The outside tires.
Yeah, but it's
a lot of tires to replace when you have to think about replacing tires.
Yeah, it really is. So we do, I mean, Chris did, we were thinking about just going with the full black cover, kind of like we had some nylon, kind of style on our
slipped over and you hooked behind.
Yeah, and we saw these on Magnashade, and we thought, well, that looks really cool, because not only is it super easy to put on, they fold up, they fit in a bag, but then when they're on and you're at the campground site, you can still see the wheel, which so aesthetically, like Chris said, it's kind of pleasing to the eye. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would be honored for you to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button, and every time we post a video, you'll be notified. And please leave us a big thumbs up. And you know what? We ask for comments, and we love your comments. And so please leave a comment with us. What is maybe a maintenance schedule that you have for roof maintenance, for tires, and what practices do you do that maybe you can educate us and all of our viewers out there? Any practical tips, we would greatly appreciate it. And with that, we say God bless
and safe travels.